Annyeonghaseyo. Hi everyone, this is Ariel, one half of Soju for Two, and so this video is what to bring to Seoul and what not to bring to Seoul. And I'm prefacing this by saying to Seoul because that's the only experience I've really had. I've been to other cities, but I've never really been like shopping for like necessities. So I definitely want to tell you guys what I've experienced has been in Seoul, and Seoul is the biggest city in Korea, so there's definitely probably more options here than in other places. But I want to tell you about the things that you definitely need to bring and things that I found like I didn't need to bring. So the first one, and I think people always have this like sort of at the top of their list when they're thinking of coming to Korea, especially like Americans, like shoes. So think about it like this, and I would totally say that if you're up to a size 8, you can definitely buy shoes in Korea, not a problem. If you're over a size 8, if you're a size 8, you can buy shoes in Korea, but you can't buy Korean made shoes. I've tried, back home I wore a 9. Here I can wear an 8 in boots, not a problem. But if I try on any like Korean made shoes, they're far too narrow for my feet. And maybe my feet are just wider than others, I'm not sure. But and most of my friends I found the same thing. If you try to buy shoes at like cheaper shoes, like $20 shoes or something like that, not a problem. But if you try to buy nice Korean shoes, you can't do it. So it's no problem to buy like boots and sort of on the cheaper end. They seem to run a little bit bigger. But if you're buying like handmade shoes, they're going to be too small. So if you're on the cusp of an 8, you could definitely. I mean, I've bought shoes here, not a problem, but just not the pretty Korean kind. So bring shoes if you're like a 9 and up. Definitely bring shoes. But smaller than that, I'd say you're fine. You can definitely buy Korean shoes. The next is deodorant. So everyone talks about deodorant, and I definitely agree. I think you can buy deodorant, you bring a ton of deodorant, no problem. But you can also buy deodorant, and I think that people make a big deal about it that you can't get it. But I've seen deodorant like everywhere, and even the Face Shop has deodorant, but it's just not the same type of deodorant we're used to. So if you're desperate, you can use Korean deodorants, but I would still say like you should bring a bunch of American, whatever your brand is that you like that at home. But if you're not that picky about deodorant, you can easily buy it here in Seoul. If you live in other areas, maybe it's much more difficult, but in Seoul, not a problem. Okay, the next one is medicine. So this one, I would say, Korea has no shortage of medicine. There's a pharmacy. There's 3 pharmacies on every block, so you have no problem buying medicine, and they're really helpful. I would say for me, the biggest problem is that, in my mind, Koreans tend to over medicate. So they're just constantly taking pills and taking vitamins, and that's not bad. I mean, I love vitamins and stuff like that, but I just like for me, I try to take as little medicine as possible. So the only thing I really ever take is like Advil when I have cramps or a headache. So I think that there's too many options on the like when I go to the Korean pharmacy. So for me, I just want something very simple. So if you have preferences about medicine, bring your brands with you, and then you don't have to go and because they're gonna give you like 4 types of pills if you go in and say you have like a headache, and that's kind of like weird to me. Or like I had like a runny nose and I was congested, and they gave me like 4 different boxes and like take one of these a day, each one every day. I was like, that's too much. So if you just if you have something at home that works for you, bring it with you. The next one is fitted sheets for your bed. So you can buy blankets and pillows, all of that here, not a problem. And it's probably most like blankets or comforters are about $50, so pretty comparable to home. But fitted sheets, the sheets you wrap around the mattress are really, really hard to find. So I would say don't forget to bring just at least a fitted sheet. You could buy a regular sheet here. They usually call them like thin blankets or something, but definitely bring at least a fitted sheet if you like to have that because it's kind of hard to find. Yeah, I would recommend it. The next one is winter clothes. Okay, so for me, I came to Korea in the summer, and I definitely brought with me more summer clothes than winter clothes. And my big plan was to have my sister bring over a ton of winter clothes when she came. Now, my sister can't come over because she's pregnant, as you all know, and so really likely I'm gonna ship stuff over. At this point, I probably wish I hadn't done this because I wish I had brought more winter clothes and less summer clothes. And here's the biggest part of that is that for the most part, summer clothes in Korea you don't really wear because everything is so high necks and stuff like that, even in summer. A lot of my stuff, my winter clothes, I could have worn in summer, just not done like layers and stuff like that. So I wish I brought more winter clothes, more winter jackets, because it's just they're still like expensive here to buy winter jackets. Now you can buy them like for under $200, which I think is reasonable, but I just know I have a lot at home and I wish I had brought those. So maybe if you're coming in the summer like I did, bring a few more winter outfits than you think you need, because it gets cold here really fast. Fall is very short. The next one is, like buttoned up clothing. So do not bring like a ton of low cut tops, and you bring short skirts all you want, but a lot of my friends are foreigners have brought like super low cut shirts and low cut stuff, and it's just like in Korea it's not like appropriate to wear, and people will look at you badly, and like you don't want people to have that kind of impression of you. So just try to bring all the clothing you have is buttoned up, and then you can buy like a ton of stuff here that's also buttoned up. So clothing, like in general, you don't need to bring that much because you can buy a lot here. If you're under a size like 10, 12 in American clothing, you'll have no problem buying clothing in Korea. If you're above a size 10 or 12, then I would say you'll have a little bit more trouble, so you should bring more clothes that you couldn't buy here. So for example, if you're like a size 14, 16, you should definitely bring pants and probably like tops that feel comfortable. But things like jackets and stuff, since the trends in Korea are really oversized, you won't have any problems with jackets. But I would definitely bring pants, because pants run really small here and they have very narrow hips. So if you like are fuller in the hips, you have to bring your own pants because you'll have trouble buying them here. I tend to find that like if I find any pants that are like kind of a little bit stretchy, I have no problem. But if it's like a tight pant, like Korean women just are very straight, so they don't have as much hips. So I feel like if you have hips and you're like over like a size 10 or 12, bring some pants that you'll have for at least a few seasons. The next one, is a transformer. So a transformer is, let me show you guys. A transformer is this. So you don't have to bring it with you in your suitcase, but if you order from the Arrival store, and I'll put the link down here, you can pick it up at the airport. And it's pretty heavy, so it's best not to put it in your suitcase anyway. And the reason why you want one of those is because if you're going to bring any sort of electronics like curling irons, blow dryers, anything like that, which I recommend don't bring a blow dryer because they have them here, but if you need to buy something that you want like super voltage, you need to have this. So otherwise you will literally burn down your building. Like people constantly burn stuff. During orientation, my roommate and I sort of blew up a little alarm clock. It was just an alarm clock, and we destroyed it because we didn't have a transformer. So even we had a plug, like an adapter, but we didn't have the transformer. So definitely just try not to bring anything with like some sort of voltage to it unless you have one of these. The next one, bug spray. So if you come in the summer like I did, I had orientation, so I didn't really have the ability to go and buy a lot of stuff right when I got here because I was sort of thrown into training. But I had already brought bug spray with me, and you're going to really want that because mosquitoes are really bad here in the summer. Like now it's not bad at all, even though I did just get one the other day, but I was like outside all night, so it's no big deal. But you really should bring bug spray because I remember I got so many bug bites when I got here, and I still had bug spray. So definitely bring bug spray from home. And the next one is towels. So at least bring a regular size American towel that covers your whole body, because when you get to Korea, towels are much smaller. I mean, a regular size towel is like that big. Usually it covers like my front. And that's about it. And it's fine for me. Like I usually use them just for my hair because I brought towels from America that I'm used to. It's really hard to find like American sized towels or Western sized towels here. So bring a towel. The next is bring like pocket size like toilet paper and stuff like that, because a lot of times in Korean bathrooms there will not be toilet paper. So definitely always bring these with you. Stuff it in your suitcase and keep it in your purse because you're definitely going to want those. The next thing I recommend is space bags. When you come here, if you bring space bags, you can bring more of your winter clothing, bring more of your stuff, and it will like fit more easily. Also, space bags make little like travel ones that sort of roll instead of like the vacuum ones. I love those. I've been going on a lot of weekend trips, and I just take one of the roll ones, roll up my clothing, and I put everything in one backpack. I have everything I need for 3 days in a backpack, and it's still really light because I took all the air out of it. So I recommend those. And also bring a neck pillow. You can buy a ton of them here, but like a neck pillow for travel, when you come over here, you want one on the plane anyway. So definitely bring it, because if you like do any sort of traveling around on buses and things like that, it can be really uncomfortable. So I totally recommend that. When you get here, there's tons of shops that are really cheap and you can get great stuff. So like Daiso, which is like a Japanese shop that's huge in Korea. It's basically everywhere, and it's like a dollar store, but they have literally everything. Like anything, when you get here, you'll just go to Daiso and buy everything you need for your apartment and you'll be fine. And they have it. So I mean, it's not the best quality, but it was definitely very reasonably priced, and you can get everything that you need. So I recommend Daiso. So I'll put the link down here for the Arrival store, and maybe for Daiso, since I love it so much. Okay, hope this helps. Bye, guys.